was at the theater in 2024. It was really outside. I mean, I got the playbills to prove it. These aren't even all the playbills from this year. These are just playbills from my favorite shows. So let's get into my top 10 shows of 2024. 10-ish. Not really going in any particular order, but I am going to start with my favorite show, Jelly's Last Jam. I saw this on opening night at New York City Center. And when I tell you, I think this show altered the chemistry of my brain. And it also just made me so proud to be Black. Honey, this was Black excellence personified. Like, please be so for real. Jelly's Last Jam was the best piece of theater that I saw in 2024, period. And if it doesn't come to Broadway, I will be rioting in the streets. I really love this show for a variety of reasons. The performances were absolutely dynamic. And honestly, Tap does it for me every single time. And when I tell you they were tapping, I was like, let me get in the tap class. I mean, that's how much I love the show. The cast was stacked, and I cannot talk about the show without talking about Nicholas Christopher, who is one of the most insanely talented performers of our generation. I had literally just seen Nicholas and Sweeney Todd on Broadway. And then when I looked in the playbill and I was like, who is this man? And I realized it was him. I was like, and then I recently saw him at Seymour in Little Shop. Give him Tony's right now. Next up is Sunset Boulevard. I have one of the legacy playbills. If you have heard the hype around this show, they're not hyping it. Like, it's the truth. It's just excellent. Like, I've never seen anything like that on a Broadway stage, and I enjoyed myself immensely. Next up is Suffs. Suffs made me cry. I've seen it twice, and I was lucky enough to see it when it was at the Public. Now, what I will say is that when I saw it at the Public, I was like, oh, okay, cool. Like, I wasn't going up for it or anything. Like, I thought it was like a really interesting concept. I enjoyed some of the music, but it wasn't something that I was like, I need to run back and see it. One of my favorite things is when I see an out of town or regional run of a show, and then it comes to Broadway, and you can tell that the show has done work to develop or alter the piece in some way. And I just feel like this team really did the work in terms of updating it from what it was at the Public. I really love the show. I'm a Suffs girl. Hello? Death Becomes Her is so much fun. Like, are you joking me? Like, I have on the shirt right now. Like, I don't buy a lot of theater merch, believe it or not. So when I go to a merch stand after a show, something happened to me. And what happened to me was the greatness that is Death Becomes Her. This show is so much fun. I had such a ball. I did not stop laughing. The women in that show are killing it. Do you hear me? Like, every single one of them singing, funny, eating us up. Paul Tazwell, those costume designs, sir, you are working. First of all, you worked in this show. You worked in Wicked Movie. You are doing it. Please make me something to wear. I don't care what it is. Please, I need something that you've designed. The purple is my favorite color. Like, I literally was losing my mind every time someone came out in a new costume. I was like, and where can I buy it? And where can I get that? Like, literally. Paul, you are it. Icon, legend. Merrily We Roll Along was absolutely perfect, and Daniel Radcliffe was absolutely perfect in it. I enjoyed seeing this show so much, but I just have to mention that when I went to the 2024 Tony Awards this year, I got to see Daniel Radcliffe win a Tony Award for Merrily We Roll Along, and I got to meet Daniel Radcliffe after the Tony Awards. My 9-year-old self will never recover. And that's all I can say about that. I felt conflicted about adding this one because it's seasonal, but y'all, Elf was so much fun. Like, I literally had so much fun at this show. Like, it was something so magical and just jovial about it that I don't know, it just made me feel really good. When Santa came out on that sleigh, baby, you would have thought I was 6 because I was losing my mind. I really enjoyed Elf. I'm not the biggest fan of the movie, but I really did enjoy this musical. Not a musical, but Ben Platt reopened the Palace Theater with his residency. And when I went to see his residency, Leslie Odom Jr. was his guest. Not even exaggerating, I think my soul left my body. Up until this point, I had not had the opportunity to hear Leslie sing live. I had seen him in Pearly Victorious a few times. One of those times being a dress rehearsal where there were only 30 people in the room, and like literally I was front row center. I was screaming. So to hear him sing, I was just like, oh my goodness gracious. The man is so talented, and he's actually such a kind human. I had the opportunity to interview him a couple of times this year, and he was such a lovely human being. And honestly, what is he not good at? He's an amazing performer. He's a loving husband and father. Like, Leslie Odom Jr., folks. Leslie Odom Jr. This has obviously been a very big year for Wicked Musical. I had the opportunity to see the show on Wicked Day, and this was my first time ever seeing Wicked on Wicked Day, which is October 30th. And I have one of the legacy playbills. I hope they bring this back every year because I need all of them. I've talked about all of my favorite musicals. Let's talk about plays. First up is The Colored Museum by George C. Wolfe. I got to see this in Washington, D.C. at the Studio Theater. I had never seen it staged, and truly it was such a fantastic experience. The set design alone was absolutely incredible. The audience was actually seated in a ship, and I just thought that it was so creative, so dynamic. I definitely really enjoyed this play. You can actually see this, but just trust me, it says Covenant. So I missed Covenant when it was here in New York City, and I had the opportunity to see it in Washington, D.C. at Theater Alliance. I'm going to have a whole video about it coming this February for Black History Month on my Instagram, but just know I really enjoyed Covenant. Covenant is so jaw-dropping. It is shocking, and it is so good, like in the best way. So I really enjoyed seeing the show, and I can't wait to hopefully see it again. And I can't wait to tell you more about it. I mean, it's one of those plays where you're like, oh, I didn't know that's where we were going with this. I wasn't going to include this one because my first time encountering this play wasn't this year, but I have to include it because it's just so good. Good Bones by James Imes was at the Public this year, and I had the opportunity to work on it. I actually made 3 separate videos about it on my Instagram, so if you want to see that, you can check it out. But like, this show turned out so good. I saw it's out of town run in DC. I'm from DC, in case you can't tell. Got to see the production that happened this year at the Public. I got to see behind the scenes of the rehearsal and tech process, and then of course the final production, and it's just so good. I think it brings up some really important topics. It discusses gentrification. It's very well written. It's dynamic. I love it. Before I saw this on Broadway, I got to see a rehearsal of this play. And so I think that me getting that behind the scenes look of it also really contributed to just how much I loved it, because I got to see it grow from one rehearsal to the actual production. The end of this play truly had me in tears. The ending song that was in this play just touched me so much. And of course, the ending of the play and the story and how it goes also touched me. But when I tell you I was crying, like sobbing at the end of Home, like, and not because it's sad, but because it's moving. Like, this is such a moving piece. I'm so glad that I got to see it and experience it in the way that I did. Someone Spectacular was at the Signature Theater, and both hubby and I enjoyed this one. We were both looking at each other like, ooh, this play talks about grief, and it tackles the subject of grief and how everyone handles grief a little bit differently. I thought that this was really good and very timely. Unfortunately, Hubs and I have dealt with a fair amount of grief this year, and it just resonated with us so deeply. Someone help me. What is going on down there at the Hayes Theater? The Hayes Theater loves to put up some messy drama, and I love it. I feel like every time I go to the Hayes, I'm going to see something that's going to make my jaw drop. And so I saw 2 things this year that really made my jaw drop at the Hayes, and the first one was Job. First of all, honey, the show starts off and someone's being held at gunpoint. I'm like, oh, okay, starting on 100. It is just a whirlwind of excitement and anxiety, like in the best way. Like, I enjoy Job so much. Cult of Love is a holiday family drama. And honey, when I tell you, this family is so messy. They have so much drama between the 4 siblings and their spouses and their parents. Baby, it's a mess. It is a mess, but it is so good. And so if you have the opportunity to go and see Cult of Love, please do, because it's open until February 2nd. And even though we're dealing with the holidays, like, deal with the holidays, past the holidays to see this, because it is worth it. I already know I'm going to watch this video back and be like, oh my gosh, I forgot this one, or I forgot that one. And I've accepted it. I have come to peace with it. Reality is, I have seen so much theater this year, and I am so grateful for all of my theater experiences. As of today, December 27th, I have seen 84 shows. 84. Now, some of those are repeats. There is a musical that I saw 3 times this year. It's not a new musical on Broadway, but can you guess what it is? I would love to know if any of the shows I talked about, if they were some of your favorite shows. What were your favorite shows in 2024? Definitely let me know in the comments. If you like this kind of content and if you vibe with my vibe, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel so you don't miss when I upload new videos. And hopefully I'll see you at the theater. Bye.